Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
Spoilers for No Way Home.
Oh yeah, no, if you're gonna watch this, watch the movie first.
Andrew Garfield is in No Way Home. He's great. Have you ever seen, you've seen both of his movies, right?
I only saw the second one.
Oh.
I never saw the first Amazing Spider-Man.
No Way Home, everybody loved Andrew Garfield. People enjoyed him in those movies.
I mean, people enjoyed seeing other Spider-Man in those movies.
Yeah. Well, yes. There's a subset of the audience that's just like, I just want to see more Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I think most folk, like, dude.
So are you saying that there was a weighted decision, and between Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, more people were excited about Andrew Garfield?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, well, certainly in our theater experience, there was a disproportionate amount of Maguire pushing versus Garfield, but there was still a healthy dose of enthusiasm for Garfield.
I agree.
And in the second theater, there were more people who were excited about Garfield. So, like, people like Andrew Garfield, and he has now been giving his press tour talking about the movie since he had to lie about it for the last 2 years. Now that we are in a world where, like, the multiverse is, like, understandable to the average cinema goer. And when I say that, I mean, like, kinda.
Oh, thank you for amending that.
Well, people are talking about it. Like, people are using the word interchangeably. Into the Spider-Verse is a multiverse movie's about the multiverse, and it won an Oscar. So, like, as far as Sony's concerned,
Into the Spider-Verse started the multiverse. The whole idea of that was just like, there's all these other different areas.
there's all these different dimensions and all these different Spider-Men in it, and the idea of multiple Spider-Men, and that they're not all from the same place. It's not like just but they're both Peter Parker. How did that work? Like, no, people get it. People get the idea of a multiverse, at least at the most basic level. Whereas I think like 10 years ago, people were afraid at Hollywood to talk about that kind of concept.
I mean, had you talked about a multiverse at that point, they probably would have just thought like different realms. Kind of like, oh, you mean like Asgard is a realm and the Midgard.
Yeah, maybe that. You know, like
multiverse.
Right. Like, yeah. As opposed to no, there's like parallel dimensions where it's like the same person but in different costumes. Like, no. But now people are comfortable with that idea, and people liked Andrew Garfield. His movie still made money. Not as much money, but still made money.
You had the word Spider-Man in the title, it made money.
But Sony also was hedging their bets and made these other movies, like Venom. I made 2 of those. There's a Morbius movie.
Well, they have to make money.
No, they got to make money, and they own the Spider-Man license.
Presumably they have to use the characters, otherwise at some point they'll lose the license,
That's
right?
That's very true. Yes, that's true. That's true. You had Venom, Venom 2, Morbius, and now Kraven, and you got all these characters, all of whom are Spider-Man characters with no Spider-Man.
And we also now have characters from both the Tobey Maguire universe and from the Andrew Garfield universe.
That's true. That's true. My proposition, and let me see if you can get behind this as a casual moviegoer. Now that we've established that like the audience won't be confused if you have 2 different Spider-Man movies going on.
They will still be confused.
Okay.
You will still have people who are confused about it because they're not paying attention.
That's true.
However, if you just try a little bit,
right,
you can figure out where they are in the multiverse.
Sure. My suggestion is, and I think a lot of people have talked about this already, but the idea that, you know, part of the reason why Venom is fine but not realized its potential is because no Spider-Man.
I mean, you have a character who is based off of another character.
Yeah.
So to have Venom in a world where Spider-Man never existed doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean,
you can do it,
and they've done it. They made 2.
But it lacks a certain foundation.
Yeah, I agree. What if they just go, oh yeah, no, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2? That's the Venom universe.
Yes. That's the one to do. Do not do Tobey's.
Nope.
You do the
Andrew Garfield universe, where like you got Paul Giamatti, Rhino, who's ridiculous. You got that crazy Ravencroft, which is silly and stupid. You have Electro, who has now been redeemed in terms of not necessarily in powers and in like conscience, but rather he's no longer blue and stupid. So
but he can still have electric powers back in his own universe.
You could get him back. I mean, it's, you know, there's plenty of electric eels to choose from.
I mean, hell, forget the electric eels.
Yeah,
just like ramp yourself up or have a suit.
Yes.
You want to do Electro in a different way where he's not like crazy see-through, have him wear an electric suit.
There you go.
And that gives him his powers. He's like, no, I need it back. And the powers are gone, so like I gotta manufacture it somehow.
Right. Oh, a dude who's like going through withdrawal. Like, I had power and now I'm stuck here. Venom, Venom 2, Morbius, Kraven. Those are all in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. Spider-Man has always existed in this universe, and it's Andrew Garfield. And then, so you got these plans where they're already making these movies.
Okay.
They already got Venom 3 in the works. They got Morbius in the works. Morbius is done. Morbius was shot 2 years ago. Morbius is out. Like, Morbius was supposed to come out literally like today, and instead it's coming out in April. So you got Morbius and then Kraven. I think they moved the movie from Hollywood's dumping ground of January to April so that they could like get some breathing room. Maybe the coronavirus dies down a little bit in 4 months.
That is actually a huge factor. I think it was part of it. Like, you got the Omicron, you've got the holidays, and people are more sick, and hospitals getting full.
Yeah.
Let's push the release of our movie so that
in
opening
theaters
weekend
only
is when people can actually see it.
Exactly. So push that back. But you still have 4 months. And how long does it take to put Andrew Garfield in a Spider-Man suit that he literally wore like a year ago? Not very long. Put him against a green screen, he's a post-credit scene. Morbius is like, blah. Andrew Garfield shows up, whoa, a vampire. That's the end credit scene. Suddenly, people are starting to talk. Opening weekend, like maybe they release it Thursday or Wednesday. People are like, Spider-Man is in Morbius. What? But you establish that Spider-Man is now in your Morbius movie, and Morbius is in the Venom universe, which means you're not just seeing Morbius because you're like, oh boy, a vampire, and Jared Leto, I love them. Instead, it's like, no, this is the springboard to the inevitable Venom versus Spider-Man movie.
You remember how much you loved Amazing Spider-Man? This is the same universe.
Yeah.
This is what the world became after Spider-Man went away.
Yes.
He stopped pulling his punches.
Yes. Maybe he scared himself and went away.
Yeah, and stopped being Spider-Man for a little while.
Yeah.
He kind of like Bruce Bannered it up, where he's like going on a lonesome journey.
He's like helping people out just by being Peter Parker. Yeah, that's hey, anything, they could do anything with it just to suggest he's gone. Maybe he put on a black costume and just started doing it more in the shadows. Basically, the pitch would be suddenly creating interest in the Venom universe, where the Venom universe is no longer the Venomverse. Now it's the Amazing Spider-Man universe again.
Yeah, it always was.
Yeah, it always was. And we're geniuses. So it's like, because what we have on the docket right now is Venom 3, Morbius, and Kraven. What used to be, I guess Morbius is going to fight Venom.
Well, here's the thing. If you were going to have a Kraven without Spider-Man.
Right. What's the point? What are we doing?
Who's going to hunt? Venom?
That's what I was assuming it was going to be. But now you can actually, because here's the thing. There's not a lot of great Kraven stories. I'm sorry, but there aren't. Like he's not the best Spider-Man villain. And the one that everybody knows is the one where he kills Spider-Man, buries him in the ground, and then kills himself. Kraven's Last Hunt is a great story and a terrific adaptation. Hey, maybe that's the one.
Yeah, maybe we get rid of Kraven.
Yeah, maybe we make a Kraven movie, but turn it into a secret Spider-Man movie where it's Kraven's Last Hunt, kill Kraven off at the end, and then you don't have to worry about Kraven movies anymore because we have Spider-Man. And then the next movie is Amazing Spider-Man 3.
How are you going to build my Sinister Six movie? Is my question.
Well, that's a great question. See, because that's definitely
because I want that.
Because Sony desperately wants that. Well, so the Sinister Six is comprised of a bunch of characters, none of whom have their own movies at Sony right now.
My problem with that is that you have Venom and you have Morbius, who are supposed to be like the anti-heroes.
They're anti-heroes, yeah.
So really, they can't be part of the Sinister Six, because why would they fight Spider-Man?
Well,
Spider-Man is back. The news is Spider-Man is back, and the villains are like,
oh, let's go get him.
If you want to go crazy, and I mean crazy, the multiverse now exists, and people know that the multiverse now exists. So you could have, I want to say, Vulture, Scorpion.
Scorpion would be great. Yeah, Scorpion and Vulture from the MCU universe. Yeah, that'd be great.
Because you've got
them cast.
You've got them cast. Yeah. And in Morbius, you have Michael Keaton talking to Dr. Morbius, right?
Yes, he's in that trailer. I don't know why or how that works. People will go see a movie with a bunch of villains from across the universe. Like, yeah, you could just make it be like Electro, Lizard, and Rhino because they were established in that universe, but that's 3. Then the other 3 are from any other universes.
So if we're breaking this, if we're just pulling at threads,
right?
If you take Into the Spider-Verse, do you now cast Miles in the real world, or do you try and animate everyone into the Spider-Verse?
I love the idea that Miles has his own animated universe that like he's headlining, that he does over there. I think that it's inevitable that Miles will be cast in a live-action role in these movies. Right. Whether it's Tom Holland's or Andrew Garfield's inevitable future movie franchise that no one's confirmed and it's not official.
It's not official, but we want it.
But I'd like that. That's the only way you're going to get me to see Venom 3, is if you put Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man in it.
That's the only way you'll be able to get me to see any Venom movie.
That's true.
Because I have not seen either 1 or 2.
You are not missing out. But
I never cared about Venom.
No. I love Venom as a Spider-Man antagonist. Or when they reluctantly team up to fight Carnage. That's all I like about Venom. The fun of the animated universe and what Into the Spider-Verse suggests is, number one, it's all contingent on multiverses. So you could actually cast like a Kingpin or something like that. But more excitingly, you could cast Emma Stone to come back as Gwen Stacy, but as Spider-Gwen, and appear in the Venom Amazing Spider-Man co-mingled universe.
Okay.
Because Emma Stone was so great, and their chemistry between her and Garfield was undeniable, and like it was a mistake to kill her. So I mean, it was a great moment, and actually created like terrific
necessary
for
the character to grow.
You need her to die, but like, but
it's
she's
not. Is it not his Gwen?
It would not be. No, I mean it's it's a different Gwen. It's just, but she acts and looks just like the other one. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Andrew Garfield's 38, 39. So like, how many more Spider-Man movies could he make realistically? Like solo movies, probably like 2, 3. But like,
this would be a fantastic jumping off point to give the title over to Gwen or Miles.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
oh my God, yeah.
Fighting the Sinister Six, he's like, this is it, I'm out.
Right. Maybe he dies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. And then you cast Miles.
That would be insane.
And just keep it going. There you go. And in that universe, Peter Parker dies, Miles is continuing. Tom Holland's like young and continuing. His adventure's just beginning.
You can't see this. I got goosebumps just from the thought of that.
Yeah. Just,
like he finally is like redeemed and he comes back and he dies.
And he dies. And Miles swoops in and he takes over.
That hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. Then because you got 2 more Into the Spider-Verse animated movies starring Miles. Those are made and coming out. One's coming out like this October, so like
yeah, we've seen the trailer.
Yeah,
for it.
we're those are done. So once those are done, you don't need to make any more like Miles animated movies. You're good with that, especially if you're like, well, I've got a roadmap now where we have a dope Venom 3 where he fights Spider-Man and they team up at the end to fight Carnage if he's resurrected, or 5 symbiotes or whatever the hell you want to do. Then he fights, Morbius is introduced and he deals with Morbius, and then he fights Sinister Six and dies, and then you've introduced Miles. Like, there's your movie.
Do you ever want to see the Maguire universe again?
I would see one more. If Sam Raimi, unfettered, if Sam Raimi wanted to make a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, and he was like, I get to do whatever I want, I'd be like, yeah, I'll go see that. I'll go see his Drag Me to Hell with Spider-Man in it.
Is J.K. Simmons coming back again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Venom, Morbius, Kraven, the inevitable Spider-Man, or Amazing Spider-Man sequel, that's 4 movies that theoretically have Spider-Man in them. Not including the hopeful MCU Tom Holland trilogy. So that's, 7 movies that are coming out with Spider-Man in them. You could realistically have a Spider-Man movie a year from Sony. Now, Marvel/Disney will produce the MCU ones, so they'll be in their own universe, but Sony still takes a huge cut of those movies. So I could see Sony
getting revenue.
I could see Sony being very happy with that arrangement, where like when Disney was going to do Star Wars, where like every year there's going to be a Star Wars movie, until like that didn't work out. But if you have 7 Spider-Man movies, maybe 2 a year for like 3-4 years, that's like a theoretical increase of maybe like $6 billion, not including the 4th Raimi Spider-Man movie that like never would have existed if it weren't for No Way Home testing the waters.
The real takeaway from this, and you said this earlier, and this was perfect, is the fact that we have 4 months now to get Andrew Garfield into the Morbius movie.
Yes.
And to make that whole universe
canon.
The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Hell, they could get Paul Giamatti in there too if they want to. If they just really want to go for it. Maybe Morbius goes to jail or goes to Ravencroft or something, and Paul Giamatti's there. He's like, whatever they need to do.
On the suit.
The reality is, all they need to do is just put Andrew Garfield in the suit and have him like against a CG background, against a green screen. Hell, he could walk from the ending of No Way Home into Morbius, where he's like, "Oh, I'm back," and then Morbius is like, "Blah," and he's like, "Oh, vampires." End of movie.
Vampires now.
Vampires, come on. End of movie.
He's trying to claw back at the portal again.
Oh no! Yeah, that'd be great. I think that's like I think that's the best way to do it, because it deepens your universes to the point where your more potential audience will be excited about the thing you're making. Because the only reason to make a Venom movie, a Morbius movie, a Kraven movie is because you want more money. That's the only reason to do it. And if you're going to want to make more money to make those movies, put Spider-Man in them and you'll make more money.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let us know in the comments down below if they made a Raimi Spider-Man 4, who's the villain?
And not Topher.
No, he's done. I don't know if you, I just watched Spider-Man 3 recently. When he explodes, you see his rib cage. Like, oh, he's done. Like, that suit might survive, but Topher Grace's Venom is dead. It's no question. So, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
So long.